Do you like games? Apparently, not a lot of people buy a lot of games each year. Lower than you may think. More than 60% of US game players only buy 2 games or fewer per year. Survey finds only 4% buy more than 1 game a month, Circana's data says. I'm gonna say, these guys are streamers. You always have to play the new thing. I don't think that is true. But for some people that may be important, I guess, depending on their content. The majority of video game players in the United States only buy 1 or 2 games a year, a survey has found. Market research company Circana senior director Matt Piscatella, Piscatella! Italian! Mamma mia! Data from its Q3 2025 Future of Video Game Survey. Specifically, its data on purchasing frequency among players in the US. According to the data, 80% of players in the US buy a new video game about once every 6 months, while 12% buy one about once a year, and 30% then don't buy more than 2 a year. Survey also found that 33% of players buy a new game less often than once per year. New game, and that's to be expected. Have you seen the prices? Oh my god, they're so expensive. Look, I don't think the new Digimon game is good. I think it looks cool, but at the same time, the game is like $70 already. You don't need a season pass for $30. You don't need a bunch of DLC, and you don't need $8 DLC that's just pay to win. It's single player! What are you doing? It's too much. And some people saying that are like, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe I will wait. It's too much money, dude. It's too much money for a single game. Even if the game is good. When you combine 63% of players buy 2 games or fewer every year, that's a lot of people. On the other end of the scale, 22% of players buy a new game around once every 3 months. With 10% saying they buy one roughly every month. Just 4% said they buy more than 1 game a month. Okay, but is this new game like new release, or is just buying a game? I do believe I buy more than 2 games a year, but I don't spend a lot, because I don't really buy new releases. I buy old games. I always wait for Steam sales, and you should too. Look up the bundles. You can get really nice deals with that. Recently, talking to a friend of mine, thanks to the autumn sales, right? It was like just barely a week. And I showed him the Bandai Namco RPG Essentials Collection with Tales of Arise, Scarlet Nexus, and Gold Vein. It was like 20 something bucks for 3 games. The full price, without any kind of sale. More than 120 bucks. It's a lot of money for 3 games. That's a lot of money. So remember that. Always be hustling. It's not the best bundle I've seen anyway. But it's not that bad either. And mind that would put you above the 63% already. By spending what? 20 something bucks? I think it was like 22, 25, something like that. And you bought 3 games. 3. Once again, Christmas sales, I think it was. God Eater Collection. 3 games. I think it was less than 8 bucks. 3 games! Pretty good. I still need to try them at some point. Commenting on the findings, Piscatella suggested that those 14% of players who buy 1 game or more per month are mainly responsible for the continued trajectory of full-price games. 40% of players are whales. Checks out. Hyper-enthusiasts, price-sensitive players are really keeping things going, especially in the non-free-to-play gaming space. Price-insensitive players is a really nice way of saying whale, or even worse, pay big. I understand want to play a new game. Sometimes new game looks really good. Sometimes new game is even actually good for once. I don't think it's normal to be paying more than 100 bucks for a single game. Because you have base game for like 70 bucks nowadays. 70 or even 80. You have like between 20 and 40 bucks on top of that for deluxe edition. And then you might have season passes, even if they're single player, a bunch of DLC and whatnot. Speaking of DLC, not a big fan of DLC, but speaking of DLC, even though they're just cosmetics. It was insane. The other day, I looked up cosmetics for Monster Hunter games on Steam. How is it possible? How is it possible that a game like Monster Hunter World has more than 500 bucks on cosmetic DLC? The meme back in the day was Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 having a billion DLC. It's more than 300 bucks. But it's actual content. It's actual missions, it's actual characters, it's actual playable things, not just bling, right? How is it possible that you have more than 500 bucks? I think it was a little bit over 500, but I'm not sure. On just cosmetics. It's insane. I think it's more than 400, only with wilds. I don't know about the price. The list was so long, Steam didn't tell me the full amount. It was really that bad. It was really that bad. It's insane. Sure, it's not just cosmetics. It's like 95% cosmetics. You have like soundtrack and some other stupid shit on top of that. 500 bucks on DLC? Are you kidding me? That's not normal. That's not normal. Back in my day, you bought the game and everything was inside the game, and that was already good. And sometimes it wasn't good, but at the same time, are you gonna pay, I don't know, more than 500 bucks for a single game that's not even good? It's insane. It's insane. I'm going crazy here. As usual. Biscuitel also pointed out that if these numbers seem unusual, clearly because anyone who follows him already falls into that 40% bracket of players who buy a game or more per month, and therefore may not be aware of the bigger picture. Before replying, know that even seeing this post likely puts you into that hyper-enthusiast bucket, but the actions of you and your immediate cohort likely do not match those of the general gaming audience, he explained. The general gaming audience is a bunch of normies, okay? That's normal. That's normal. It's a little bit insane when you have most people buying about 2 games a year, and you have game companies saying, well, video games nowadays are way too cheap. What do you mean 40 bucks? What do you mean 50 bucks? Even 70 is way too low for us. 80 plus or nothing. Going forward, if we can reach 100, that's gonna be even better. If you have people spending, in average, let's say they buy full price. I don't know if that's the case. Let's say you have most people spending around 120 bucks a year on games. That means right now about 2 games. If you increase the prices so much, they're gonna be buying about 1 game per year. That's not gonna drive sales, that's going to tank sales, that's going to tank your profit. How is this something new? How do I figure this out being a stupid idiot on the internet and not these big companies? Because the big companies don't care. That's why they don't really care. They're counting on that 14% they're going to buy no matter what, until they reach a breaking point, and customers are gonna be like, okay, why am I paying like 150 bucks for nothing? I guess I'm not gonna do it. I didn't hate these people enough. It's insane. In a separate post related to this point on hyper-enthusiast, price-sensitive, insensitive players, Biscuitel suggested that the reason game prices are rising and deluxe editions are becoming more commonplace is because that 14% of players are less likely to worry about the cost of games. Meaning most pricing is focused on them. 14% of people might be stupid. As I mentioned, price sensitive is a really fun way of saying pay big. Been talking about this trend for years when it comes to game spending, he wrote. Why are there premium game paths? 149 USD collector's edition, pro console, and general raising prices. Because the companies are really greedy. And they know they can be greedy, that's the problem. Because the price-sensitive, affluent players are the ones doing more of the spending, as everyone else shifts more to free-to-play. Or price-insensitive, affluent, and sometimes people being blinded by, let's say, nostalgia, right? And they announced the new, I think it was Mario Galaxy Collection remake, some sort of thing. They're reselling you again, Galaxy and Galaxy 2, right? And some people are like, oh, but I like this game, and I'm like, dude, it's really expensive. You can just emulate it on the PC with no problems. I bet you can play that on Steam Deck anyway. What are you paying? Again, for the game. It's not new, but you're paying as if it was new. And the same people sometimes they just criticize the companies for having all of these strange legalities going on, right? Especially Nintendo being so litigious recently with Palworld and whatnot. That means not that they don't care necessarily, but some of them are too addicted. They cannot stop sucking their titties. Which is a different problem. Another report published by ComScore last year found that 82% of American video game players have made an in-game purchase in the past 12 months. 82% of American video game players need to be punished. Why are you paying? Why are you paying for stupid shit? Stop it. I learned that while some players may not necessarily be buying a lot of games, they're still putting money into the industry. Either through in-game purchases in free-to-play titles. Okay, hold up. Let's say I never do that kind of thing, right? Let's say me buying a single gacha game roll a year doesn't mean I'm bumping the same amount of money as some sort of whale buying several games a month. Absolutely not. So I know what I'm trying to say here, but this thing here tries to mean something that's not actually saying. So I don't know how to feel about that. Just pay up, little piggy. I do believe people should be more conscious about what they pay for. That's my unrealistic dream.